Hello, criminal justice enthusiasts, and welcome back to You Are the Judge. In this episode, we're going to be working on a rights infringement lawsuit, but I'm also curious to see what was sort of said about my decision in the last case. I did evidently get it correct, which is great. Oh, we got a phone call going on. Prime Minister, it was Richard, right? Yes, Prime Minister. I didn't want our first meeting to be about such a matter. I don't quite understand, Prime Minister. The public is eagerly awaiting today's verdict in the case. I have full faith that you will do what is right for our country and won't prolong this issue. Frankly, I don't quite understand what you're saying. Seems I need to be a bit clearer. You won't punish a government institution for doing what's necessary, will you? Yeah, the verdict in the case will be determined in the courtroom. I'm going to stick with the law. It's the way I played the last game, it's the way I'm going to play this game. Now, in the future, when we do it the next time, I might go with this one. Really, I do agree with this one as well, but yeah, no, I'm going to make a clear stance here. The verdict in the case will be determined in the courtroom. You know my decision. We can talk again after the trial if it is necessary. Good luck. Alrighty then. Well, to heck with him. Doesn't look like I have any paper this time because I didn't get punished, so I guess that's the reason for that. Let's check the mail. Results of my research. Hello, sir. I would be honored to quickly brief you on the most recent case so as to not take up too much of your valuable time and get right back to work. The case regarding the murder of Corbatti Port did find its place in the press, but it got lost among similar news stories. There isn't a clear consensus among social media users and politicians regarding your case. In the Ministry of Justice, cases like this are considered quite routine. That's all I have to convey to you. Might be quite routine to them, but I definitely have to say it was stressful to me because really the evidence in these cases is much more challenging than on Judge Sim. I prepared the documents for your upcoming case and left it on the table in the courtroom. Additionally, the attorneys are waiting for you in the courtroom for pretrial hearing. Alright, perfect. Those numbers look okay for now. Let's check out social media. My wounded heart. I can't help but think of you. Alright. When does Cobardi enter the category of developed country? Is it me or who can't find a job, or is there no job available? Allegations of prison riot. Allegations of a prison riot and strike at the prison are unfounded. It is not a social action as portrayed in the media, but a personal incident. The relevant ministries have taken action regarding the matter. And an investigation has been initiated regarding the allegations of the riot that have come to the public attention. I have shocking news about my upcoming series. Tune in if you want to hear live. No, thank you. We condemn the mistreatment of prisoners in prisons. We are committed to holding those responsible for this behavior, which is unworthy of human dignity, accountable. Okay. Unfounded allegations shared in the media are evidence of disinformation and once again emphasize the need to discuss a media law that includes social media. Not a fan of hers. It's really good to have some knowledgeable people in the country. Aw, thank you. I have complete trust in our legal system. Thank you. Wonder if there will be an election soon. Not sure. Justice really doesn't work in this country. I will disagree with him, but I'm not going to antagonize him. Do I have anything I could post? Alright. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and post that one. I'm going to try to post each week too. We'll see how that works out. Okay, yeah, I don't need to file a lawsuit or anything. So we're good there. We're 1-1. We've gotten punished for $100 so far. Don't want to have that happen again if we can avoid it. So let's see here. Let's go to pretrial. Bit shorter this week on that, so that's a good thing. Refugees are quite pleased with the acceptance they have received from the public, which indicates that they will soon have better conditions. Okay, well that's a good thing. My wife's happy. The refugees are happy. Everybody seems happy right now. That's always a good thing. All right. Let's listen to the plaintiff's attorney here first. My client is serving his sentence at Kobardi Prison for the crime he committed. Okay. However, in recent days, an action has been taken, such as sentencing my client to solitary confinement despite his not exhibiting any negative behavior. The prison administration has abused its authority. During this process, my client has experienced psychological and physical distress. We are filing a complaint against the prison administration for this reason. All right, that is fine. Let's hear from the defense. My client, Kobardi Prison Administration, would like to remind that there are conditions that criminals must adhere to as stipulated by the law. That is true. The regulations prescribe punishment for prisoners who do not adhere to these conditions. I would agree with that as well. Albert Neuron was found to have skipped a meal during the cafeteria hours and initiated a hunger strike, which led to his sentencing to solitary confinement. Starting a strike is prohibited according to the prison regulations, and the punishment is solitary confinement. There is no basis for the unfounded claims of the plaintiff. I mean, I want to see that prison rule, but if that is the case, then I definitely could see that. All right, plaintiffs don't have any objections. Let's see here. Your Honor, the witness, Laura Martinez, has a close relationship with the prison warden. Therefore, it is not possible for her to respond impartially. We request that you reject her testimony as a witness. No. I want to hear her because, for one, the warden may be somebody that we need to know about. So I definitely do want to hear from her. I love the amount of detail in this game. As I said, I mean, the decisions are more challenging, but you know what? I'm having a great time with it so far. Your relationship with the Supreme Court will decrease by 5 points. Really? This is the only thing I don't get, is the whole card thing here. The gambling doesn't do anything for me in the case. The lawsuit begins. All right. Let's just put this up here. Let's get through some things. Albert Neuron versus Prison Administration. Prisoner Albert Neuron, although he did not exhibit any negative behavior during his time in prison, claimed that he was sentenced to solitary confinement and suffered psychological harm as a result, and therefore he filed a lawsuit against the prison administration. He alleged that he was subjected to inhumane treatment and that the prison administration unlawfully implemented its duties and responsibilities. The prison administration, on the other hand, stated the prisoner was sentenced to solitary confinement because he did not comply with the necessary instructions and conditions, and there was no unlawful situation. Alright, so we've got these witnesses. Laura's the one that I decided to allow in. Inmate status information. It provides information on the prison's conditions of solitary confinement. It provides information about the conditions of solitary confinement. Alright, inmate status information. It's been determined that the prisoner has not eaten for 3 days. It's been determined that the prisoner has initiated a hunger strike by refusing to eat in prison. Despite the necessary warnings by prison staff, he continued to strike. It has been decided to examine the prisoner in the infirmary due to potential health issues he may experience. Inmates cannot pose a security threat to prison staff. Inmates cannot attempt to escape from prison. Inmates cannot engage in violent behavior with other inmates. Inmates cannot initiate a hunger strike. Number 4, right there. Inmates cannot participate in riot or rebellion activities. That could be seen as that as well. Inmates cannot jeopardize their personal safety. So 4, 5, and 6 are all there. Inmates cannot smuggle contraband within the prison. Inmates cannot continuously violate the rules. Alright, so that definitely is one of the situations here. Alright, so that was the pretrial. I don't like that I have to do that for that, but that's fine. Alright, the plaintiff. Indifferent, anxious, sloppy. Both of them are anxious, but the defendant is neat and respectful, while this guy just doesn't care. I mean, he is a prisoner, so that is the way it is. Alright, let's put the checklist down. Let's go ahead and have the plaintiff talk here. What were your behaviors before... Oh, wait, let's go ahead and look at the criminal record. He's in jail for murder, and he's only serving 6 years. That is not a long time for having committed murder. Very interesting. He was also arrested for it, or arrest and sentencing was in 2019, so that would have been 4 years ago, so he's only 2 years away from release. What were your behaviors before being sentenced to solitary confinement? I did not exhibit any negative behavior in prison. I followed all the rules. That is not what they are saying. Did you experience any illegal intervention during the solitary confinement process? Certainly. However, since the witnesses presented to the court are from the prison administration, they will not mention it. Why didn't you provide witnesses then? Did you have any intention to incite a riot? Never. I never had such an intention. I am only defending my rights because I believe I did not deserve solitary confinement. The question, I don't like the questions they allow me to ask. I want to ask him, did he not eat for 3 days? That would pretty much determine my answer in this case. So annoying that way. Why did the prisoner not eat during cafeteria hours and start a hunger strike? The prisoner exhibited behavior contrary to the prison discipline and initiated a hunger strike. Perhaps in a somewhat amusing way, he aimed to establish a power balance over the prison administration. But you will agree that this is not possible. Is the regulation applied to the prisoner in compliance with the law, or was the behavior that was not in accordance, or was there any behavior that was not in accordance with the law? Is entirely in compliance, sir. As you know, there are certain provisions under Article 13 for such situations. The prison administration has used its authority within the framework of the regulations to maintain order. How is the situation of prisoners sentenced to solitary confinement evaluated? Situation of prisoners sentenced to solitary confinement is evaluated based on their non-compliance with the prison regulations, and the appropriate punishment is applied. All right, so that was all of that. All right. Can you provide information about the behavior of the prisoner sentenced to solitary confinement? Prisoner lifted the tray placed in front of him and threw it on the floor. Sir. Afterwards, he started yelling. Hunger strike. Revolt. Don't be a herd. Hunger strike. Okay. What was the psychological condition of the prisoner before being sentenced to solitary confinement? There was no noticeable or unusual change in his general mood before. However, I can say that he exhibited more tense behavior after solitary confinement. Perhaps he succumbed to a desire for revenge. Earlier you mentioned the prisoner's behavior inciting a revolt. Was this behavior supported by other prisoners, or do you think it was a planned protest as a group? No, Your Honor. It was just watched in astonishment by everyone. Some were indifferent, and some just laughed. There's no evidence that he planned this with others. In my opinion, it was a spontaneously developed outburst of personal anger. All right. Well, thank you for your time. Was there any situation or disproportionate intervention that would negatively affect the prisoner's psychology? Frankly, there is no evidence of such a thing, sir. To maintain order, the regulations stipulated by the law were followed. What are your thoughts on the prisoner's allegations? Your Honor, prisoners sometimes exhibit such behavior to escape from their environment. Since I am not fully informed about the events in the current case, it would not be ethical for me to make a definitive statement. I like his professionalism. I sort of missed one of his questions. That's my fault. How was the physical condition of the prisoner affected by his solitary confinement? I did not witness weight loss, sleep deprivation, or self-harming behaviors. However, I can say that he exhibited more tense behavior compared to before. Perhaps he gave in to a desire for revenge. Did the prisoner receive any unusual counseling? No, sir. As you know, routine examinations are conducted for every prisoner at regular intervals. Any unusual counseling or psychiatric medication? Alright. There was no need for additional counseling or medication for the prisoner. Okay. Do you have anything to add about the mental health of the prisoner, or do you have any recommendation for the court on or the prison administration? Prisoner currently does not have any mental health issues, sir. I believe that the prison administration should keep him separate and monitor the process. I didn't see anything in here that sort of supports his claim. Everybody's saying the same thing. Let's look at the Constitution. Prisoners may file a lawsuit in court against penalties imposed on them by the prison administration. Court assesses the legality and proportionality of penalty, may annul or rectify the penalty if it is unjust or unnecessary. The right of prisoners to appeal and their right to be a fair trial are preserved. Alright. Wanted that up. Yeah, so we're through everything. I didn't see anything in this case that tells me he's that anything was wrong here. I wish I had asked that one question, but my statement is no evidence was provided by the plaintiff to prove his allegations. On the other hand, multiple sources supported the evidence that the prisoner did start a hunger strike and call for a revolt. Actually, no, I'm not going to worry about that. And was not mentally or physically injured by the punishment. Thus, the solitary confinement was appropriate. No penalty. Perfect. Alright, so I didn't do it because the top guy told me to do it there. I did it because of the fact that really I felt that was the correct answer. I did not see anything in this particular case that made me think that he should be found as guilty here. So yeah, I feel completely fine with that decision. Or that the prisoner should have been found guilty. Prison system, I mean. Public is demanding an increase in penalties for crimes such as murder and theft. What are your thoughts on this? We should take the public demands into consideration. Our laws are quite good for now. I think we should take the public demands into consideration. We are here for the people. This is a democracy. And if they are saying they want tougher penalties, then we, as a democratic society, should listen to what they want and take their demands into considerations. Alright, so we still have more cases going on here. As I said, I do not know how long the season is. I love that there's more than one season. I'm assuming this will be... Yep, actually I didn't even read this before, but yeah. All seasons to be added to the game will be accessible, completely free. Love that. Do still wonder, at the beginning of the game, there was like 2 other sections to it. I don't know if that is the seasons just shown in a different way, because there was like a gun shown in the second picture, and then there was a woman with a sword in the third picture. So I don't know if that's just sort of images for the different seasons, and once I complete this one, season 2 would be unlocked. Don't really know. Very interested though. As I said, I'm loving this game so far. I like the little details that it's got going on. Hopefully you're enjoying it as much as I am. Now, I'm playing this all sort of in one sitting. I started the game tonight. Gonna try to get a few more videos probably done tonight, so I will not be hearing your feedback while I'm in between videos here. That's nothing against you guys. I will of course respond to what you say, and as I said, if you guys do say that you would like me to do a second playthrough, I will take all of the comments that you give me, all of the feedback you give me into consideration when I do that second playthrough. But for this first playthrough, I really want to do it as unbiased and as fairly as I can. I did get the first case wrong, evidently according to the law, but I feel good in all of my decisions, including that one so far. And in either case, I hope that you're enjoying what's going on in the cases. So with that in mind, if you liked what happened in this video, please go ahead and click that like button. And if you've not already, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon, so that you're aware when I produce new videos in the future. Thank you, and I hope to see you all back for more of You Are the Judge.